Today we are going to learn English by listening to the story of one of the most inspiring people in history, Miss Helen Keller. You have to like this video before you start watching it. Also, if you want to become fluent in English faster, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Helen was born in 1880 in the United States. She had a happy childhood until she was 19 months old. When she got a serious illness, she almost died. After a high fever, her mother found her totally blind and deaf. Helen couldn't see or hear anything. Her parents were very worried. They didn't know how to help her. When she was 2 years old, they took her to Boston to show her to doctors, but they couldn't help her either. No doctor could help her. When she was almost 7 years old, her parents sent her to a school for blind children. But when her teacher first met Helen, she understood that helping her would be very difficult, because she couldn't speak or understand any spoken language. She knew nothing. One day, her teacher was sitting next to her and gently touched her hand. Then she spelled the word water into her palm with a finger. Helen looked confused. Her teacher repeated the word and spelled it again. Finally, Helen said, "What?" Her teacher spelled the same word again. And then she suddenly realized that that word meant water. That day, Helen learned her first word. This was a very important day for her. After this day, she wanted to learn many new words. She worked very hard and learned to read and write. At school, she studied very hard and became the smartest student there. She graduated from Radcliffe College in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with honors. It was a very big success for a blind and deaf girl. Her teacher always supported her and helped her to believe in herself. She was her friend, her inspiration, and her hero. Their names were Anne Sullivan and Helen Keller. When Helen was 13 years old, she went to Europe. One of them was Mark Twain, a famous American writer. He was very impressed with Helen. He called her a human miracle. He wrote about her in his book. Also, he wrote some stories about her. When she grew up, she started traveling around the world. She visited many countries and gave talks about her life. She wanted to help other disabled people. She said that no one can stop you from achieving your dreams. If you try your best, you can do everything. She believed that every person has talents. We just have to discover them, she said. That blindness and deafness aren't the biggest obstacles. If you have a strong desire to do something, you can achieve your goals. She believed that every person is talented in one way or another. You just need to find what you're good at. Helen Keller was an example to everyone. She had a lot of friends all over the world. One of them was Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone. He always enjoyed talking with Helen. He liked her positive attitude and energy. He said that he learned more from her than she did from him. He said that she taught him how to live a full life despite all the challenges he faced. Helen traveled all over the world and met many famous people. She spoke to them about her life. She also talked about disability rights and women's rights. She was a brave woman and wasn't afraid to speak her mind. She wanted to make the world a better place for everyone. She wanted to help people who were blind or deaf. When she was young, she didn't have anyone to talk with, so she spent a lot of time alone. She was very lonely. She needed someone to share her thoughts and feelings with. She started writing stories and poems, and this helped her to express herself. She published many books and articles during her life. Some of them were based on real events from her life. In her works, she talked about her childhood and the challenges she faced. She wrote for more than 50 years and traveled all over the world. She never stopped working and always tried to help others. In her work, she used Braille, large print, audio recordings, and other tools to communicate with different people. She also worked with the American Foundation for the Blind and the American Foundation for the Deaf. She helped to create schools for blind and deaf children. She helped them to get a good education and a better future. Helen Keller wrote a lot during her life. Today, I will tell you about some of her archival material. It will help you to understand what kind of person she was and what challenges she faced in her life. I will describe each of them shortly. The first one is the story of my life. It's a story about Helen's childhood. It describes her life from when she was a little girl until she was 21 years old. In this story, she describes her illness, how she learned to speak, read, and write. She also talks about her teacher, Anne Sullivan, and how she helped her to overcome her disabilities. Helen wrote this story when she was 23 years old. She wrote it for other people who were blind or deaf, so they would understand that they could do great things too. The next work is The World I Live In. In this story, Helen writes about her experiences traveling around the world. She talks about the people she met and the places she visited. She also describes how she experienced the world through her other senses, like hearing, smell, and touch. The next one is optimism. In this story, Helen talks about her philosophy of life. She believes that we can always find reasons to be optimistic even when things are difficult. She says that we shouldn't give up and that we should always try to improve our lives. The next one is Out of the Dark. In this story, Helen shares her ideas about overcoming challenges and achieving success. She says that we can achieve our dreams if we set our minds to it. She encourages us to never give up and to keep trying no matter what difficulties we face. The next one is Let Us Now Praise Famous Men. In this story, Helen writes about poor farmers in the southern United States. She describes their lives and the challenges they face. She also talks about the importance of helping those in need. Then we have My Religion. In this story, Helen talks about her beliefs and how they affect her life. She says that she finds strength and comfort in her religion, and she believes that it gives her the ability to overcome difficult situations. Next, we have the open door. In this story, Helen describes her experiences meeting people from different cultures and religions. She talks about the importance of tolerance and understanding and how it can help us to live together in peace. And finally, we have barrier and breakthrough. In this story, Helen talks about the challenges she faced as a blind and deaf person and how she overcame them. She encourages us to be brave and to fight for our rights. All of these stories are a reflection of Helen's strength, courage, and determination. They also show how important it is to help others and to stand up for what you believe in. These stories are not only inspiring for people who are blind or deaf, but for everyone who wants to make a difference in the world. After writing all these books, Helen still wanted to help other people. So she started working with the American Foundation for the Blind. She wanted to help blind people to find jobs and to live independently. She also worked for the American Foundation for the Deaf. She wanted to help deaf people to receive an education and to communicate with other people. Helen Keller was very active in politics. She supported women's right to vote and equal pay for equal work. She was also against racism and for peace between nations. She believed that everyone should have the opportunity to succeed, regardless of gender, race, or ability. She was a member of the Socialist Party of America. She believed that all people are equal and that no one should be denied opportunities because of their disabilities. Helen Keller continued to travel and write until she was almost 90 years old. She lived a long and happy life. She died in 1968 at the age of 87. Before she died, she said, "I am only one, but I am trying to do what I can. I may be little in years, but I am big in dreams. I may be physically weak, but my mind is strong. I may be shut out from the things I see, but I am tuned in to the things I cannot see." These words are an inspiration to all of us to keep trying no matter what challenges we face. There are many movies and TV shows about Helen Keller. Here are some of the best portrayals of her life. The first one is The Miracle Worker. This is a movie about Helen Keller's childhood and how she learned to speak, read, and write. It stars Patty Duke as Helen and Anne Bancroft as her teacher, Anne Sullivan. The movie is based on a true story, and it shows how important it is to never give up. Another good movie is The Sound of Music. This is a classic movie about a young woman who becomes the governess to 7 children in Austria. One of the children is blind and deaf, and the movie shows how music can help her to connect with the other children. And finally, we have On the Basis of Sex. This is a movie about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a lawyer and judge who fought for gender equality in the United States. One of the cases she worked on involved a man who was blind and deaf. And the movie shows how important it is to fight for the rights of all people. Also, there is a lot of archival footage of Helen Keller available online. You can watch interviews with her and listen to her speak about her life and work. After she died, she was honored many times. In 1964, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor a civilian can receive in the United States. In 1980, the United States Postal Service issued a stamp in her honor. Also, there are many schools, hospitals, and organizations named after her. Helen Keller was a truly remarkable woman. She overcame incredible challenges and achieved amazing things. She showed us that no matter what challenges we face, we can always achieve our dreams if we try our best. Now, let's review all the new words we learned today. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Almost, nearly, almost dying. Almost means very nearly. Honors, awards, prizes. To graduate from a college or university is to complete the necessary work and exams to receive a degree. Success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. To study hard means to devote a lot of effort and attention to learning. A fever is a medical condition in which the body becomes too hot and stays too hot. A high fever is a fever that is higher than normal. A teacher is a person whose occupation is to teach pupils. Students are people who learn from a teacher. To help is to give assistance or support. To believe in somebody is to have confidence in the honesty, goodness, ability, etc. of someone. A blind person is a person who cannot see. Deaf means unable to hear. An archival material is items preserved for their historical value. To travel is to go from one place to another, usually for pleasure. To talk is to communicate verbally. To share is to divide or deal out or display something to allow others to partake of it. A celebrity is a person who is famous, especially for their achievements in a particular field. To write is to form letters, words, etc., on paper, etc., with a pen, pencil, etc. A story is a spoken or written account of connected events. To publish is to issue a book, magazine, newspaper, etc., for public sale. A philosopher is a person who studies and talks about fundamental and often abstract questions concerning the nature and meaning of existence and reality. A book is a collection of written or printed pages bound together to form a record or a story. A disability is a physical or mental condition that limits a person's ability to perform certain tasks. A person is a human being. A dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in the mind during sleep. A foundation is an organization that provides support or resources for a particular cause or purpose. To encourage is to give support, confidence, or simangat. To continue is to carry on or go on despite an impediment, difficulty, or opposition. A challenge is a call to engage in a contest or fight. To achieve is to accomplish or fulfill. A goal is the end toward which effort is directed. Brave is ready to face and endure danger or pain. To speak is to use words to communicate. Courage is the quality of not giving up in the face of difficulty or danger. To suffer is to experience physical or mental pain or distress. A miracle is an event that is highly improbable or impossible. To invent is to discover and devise, as in the creation of a new device or process. An article is a piece of writing in a newspaper, magazine, etc., that deals with a particular subject. A poem is a piece of writing in which the expression of feelings and ideas is given by the arrangement of words, sounds, phrases, etc. For example, according to grammar rules, a story is a spoken or written account of connected events and experiences. To graduate is to complete the course of study at a school or university and receive a degree. Work is exertion and effort, especially when directed to some end. A friend is a person with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, trust, and esteem. To inspire is to breathe life or spirit into. Fame is the state of being known and talked about by many people. Happiness is the state of being happy. A celebrity is a person who is famous, especially for their achievements in a particular field. To support is to bear all or part of a weight or burden. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to receive notifications. See you soon. Bye.